Hello, and welcome to Rory's Brainworks, where we get creative and see if it works. Today we will be working with the bow tie harness. Do your best to ignore her. I think she's going to be rather chatty today. I had been dealing with some insomnia as of late, so I wanted to try something easy and fun. Ignore her. What we're going to be working with is similar to a Bowtie Karada or a diamond harness, except I'm switching it up, flipping the script, if you will. Art and form is a constantly changing medium, and we have to move with it or else we become stagnant water. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that, which is a great time to bring up safe, sane, and consensual safety. Be sure to have some safety shears with you at all times. You can always get new rope, can't get a new life. And consensual. Me, Marie, and Crochet Rory are all consenting adults. Communication is key. And now, before we take a deep dive into the Bowtie Karada, we must first thank my sponsors, Knothead Nylon.
Knothead Nylon is the destination for all your premium nylon rope bondage needs. Easy to clean, water resistant, up to 1,100 pounds of weight load, and in a wide array of beautiful, vibrant colors, Knothead Nylon will slake your rope desires. At checkout, put in discount code RORY10 for 10% off.
Now I'm going to start this much the same way I would a normal Bowtie Karada or diamond harness, and that's by taking the bite of our rope, putting it around the neck, doing a few overhand knots. Overhand knot is the same knot you would use to tie up the end of the balloon or use on your shoes. And what a Bowtie Karada does is it creates that. You would have different ropes come through and create these diamond shapes. Move that down a little bit, get a better part of the diamond shape going. Well, that's not exactly what I'll be doing. It's the same premise in a way, slightly different. That's mostly because we're going to be collapsing our overhand knot. If you recall the dragonfly harness, we do the same thing in that, except on the back. So we'll do the overhand knot, creating that loop, and when we go through the loop, we're actually going to be utilizing these strands right here, creating these bows, if you will. Now, a freshly done collapsed overhand knot is going to need a little bit of tightening. So once you have the bows, you're going to take the top parts of the bow, as well as the top part of the knot right here, and you're going to start pulling those two at the same time. We should tighten it up a little bit. Now, often you want to have the collapsed overhand knot a little bit higher because when you do tighten it, it's going to push it down a little bit. Keep that in mind. How wide you want the bows, that's up to you. I think I'm going to go about right here. You want to make sure that this first collapsed overhand knot is either at or just below the clavicular ditch, which is actually more the combination of the jugular and clavicular notches. But I digress. So we want that, yes. Now, the problem we have is that these ropes right here, when pulled upon, will pull those loops through. Even when tightened, that's what's going to happen. The only way they're going to stay the same is if you create another. Create another, tighten that down, create loopies. Now, it still has the ability to go down all the way, but just do your best not to pull. You can do these all the way down towards the crotch. However, I like to put in my second rope, my accent rope, after this first one. So I'm just going to pull that out, and I'm going to go grab the accent rope. So I have the bite of my accent rope right here, and what I'm going to do is push it underneath my previous rope and pull it around, creating a loop, and then I will pull the tail ends of my rope through there, creating a girth hitch or a lark's head, varying on where you learned it. Tighten that down, nifty. Now what these are going to do are spread out beneath the armpits and towards those loops. Now what I want to do is bind these ropes to these ones and then go back around towards the back. There are a few different ways we can do this. I think one of the most simple yet still elegant and nice looking ones is utilizing a square knot. You can do a square knot one in two ways. The way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to start by going underneath and through. Then I'm going to twist around. So we went from underneath, we went through, and then we're wrapping around in a hug. And then we just follow what we just did. We just wrapped around in a hug. Now we're going to go through. Go through. Oh yeah, go through that rope, yeah. Turned into a 90s grunge band. There we go. Tighten that down. We got ourselves a pretty little square knot. Now you're going to have a little bit of looseness and slack here. You basically follow that through, pulling from the head of one side and the tail end of the other. That'll tighten that down. That's essentially what we're looking for. This one can just hang right there as we do the other side. Now, as I'm sure you know, let me show you the other way of doing it. So instead of going from underneath and around, we're going to go from over the top and around. We went over the top and around, and now we just do the exact same thing in opposite. Tighten that down, and you have two ways of doing the same tie. You see how this one's going over and this one's going underneath. I think this underneath one, specifically for this tie, looks a little bit nicer. So let me redo that real quick. And with the awesome power of jump cuts, I had made this one the same as its fellow right here. Cool, now these are gonna go around the back. We're gonna do something a little special with it. Now at this point in time, you may be asking yourself a few questions. Rory, why did we do a lark's head up here? Well, that's to create counter tension. Seeing how we're having a lot of pressure going down, we need the equal amount of pressure coming back this way. That way it's a little bit more comfortable on the model. Speaking of which, Marie, how do you feel? Awesome. I can't help you with that one right now, but maybe later. Now, a normal Bowtie Karada will just kind of cross over with each other and go around. I'm going to add a little bit of flavor for the first two of these bow tie loops. I'm going to go up, around and over, and it's going to come back down this way. I'm going to add a little bit of tension to that. And then this other one, a few of you who have been here with me for a while now might see a pattern already emerging. Yeah, we're going to do some weaving. This one is being depressed, and this one's on his high horse. What do we do to our friends on their high horse? We ground them, pushing them down. And what do we do to our depressed friends? We uplift them. So we're going to ground this one by going over, uplift by going under that one. So what goes over must go under, so saith the Rory, which means this one has to go over again. So we're going over and under, and then over again. Tighten those bad boys down. And then we're going to go back around towards the front. Now obviously I have to make another collapsed overhand knot, so let's go ahead and do that. This will actually be the last time I show you it. Tighten that down. Make sure that these bows are just about the same space away. Nifty. So we're going to grab the ones that are from behind, come back, and continue doing square knots. At this point, I'm sure it's not too difficult to tell how this pattern is working out. It's pretty obvious. This will also be the last time he's showing you a square knot. I believe in your ability to learn it from this point on, and also you can always just, go back in the video and rewatch it. So, we went under, over and around, hugging it from behind. Now we're going to go over again and under. Tighten those bad boys down. We're going to go from the top, take away any excess looseness. We're going to pull from the head and then pull from the tail simultaneously. There we are. Now if you feel like this part right here was too far out or too far in, you can always adjust that with the tail end of the collapsed overhand knot. I can tighten it to bring it closer, and I can also give it some more slack in order to go a little bit wider. And that's a fun thing that you can do with this tie, is that you can actually create a design by spreading out. You can have them close in at first, and then slowly start to spread them outwards. Much like a chain stitch in that respect. So do the square knot on this side. We're going to go under, over and around. Once we've hugged, we're going to go over and under again. Aw, snap. Beautiful. Hey, look at you doing a great job. I know I actually can't see you doing a great job, but I feel like you are. You're a wonderful person. Just know that. Awesome. Let's go around to the back again. Now, once around, one at a time. You could do both of them at the same time, but that seems hard. Follow our neighbor rope. So this one went under, so this one is going over, over, under, over, yay! And back down the other way. Pull from the head, pull from the tail, nifty. Now we will do this one as well. Make sure that this line is this way so we know what we're dealing with. So the neighbor rope here went over, so we're going under. Under, over. This is how you weave. There we have it. We'll go around back towards the front, create more collapsed overhand knots. Now, I told you I already wasn't going to show you the entire process of me doing this tie, and I'm not going to. But I just wanted to point out a few other things now. That way you don't get confused by my mostly finished product. One of the things right now is that you can stay in the middle right here, middle of the chest, wherever you end up with this last collapsed knot. But most of the time, it's going to be below the pecs or below the breasts, going around here, right at that diaphragm spot right here. You can have it up here, but it's going to put pressure likely on where the nipples are, and that becomes uncomfortable over a long course of time, unless that is your aim. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit, and I'm going to have the loopies going just below the pecs at the diaphragm spot. All right, we're doing lovely here. Gonna show you one small thing in the back, and then I'm essentially gonna finish up the tie. Continue the process down. Now, what I could do when I come back around is go up and continue doing this weaving process, but it's gonna make me lose a lot of rope, and I won't be able to do as many segmented sections of this going down. So what I'm gonna do is basically follow the normal. So what I'm gonna do now is actually follow the normal path of a Bowtie Karada. Basically just crosses over, goes towards the front again. Continue doing that all the way down. So here's what I got going on with this tie. It just continues going all the way down, and then I have this length right here. Oh, I got about maybe 4 feet. Generally with a proper Bowtie Karada, you would go underneath the crotch and around and do whatever in the back. It's a lot of homework rope. That's a lot of possibility. I want to see what you do with it. I believe in you guys. I've gone over many different things over this channel. Use your artistic noggins. You want to do something around the hips? You want to go back up? Maybe join that weave with this purple right here? Do it. I know that you are capable of amazing things. Let's check out that back. And as before, we have the weave going on right there. And like I said, it just kind of crosses over and back towards the front. I finished it off with a little bit of a square knot and then a little bit of a coil to end it. That way I didn't have just 2 dangles dangling down. So is your homework rope going to be somewhere in the back? Are you going to have it come from beneath the crotch and then connect into a wrist bind? Are they going to wrap around the thighs as holster binds? There's so much you can do. Also, I have another cool thing to show you. The cool thing, when you have the accent rope, not only does it look like a really ridiculous ruffled shirt, but it also comes off super quickly. All you got to do is pull. Boom. Done. Now that is satisfying. Well, hey! I hope you had as much fun learning the Bowtie Karada as we did teaching it to you. Yes, she went out to get some Italian food because she was hungry, because she felt like she was farfalle noodles. Yes, her animation even scares me, and she's a figment of my imagination. Anywho, I would be remiss if I did not bring up my other lovely sponsors today, the wonderful people over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Rory's Brainworks, just like this YouTube channel. They are my rope vanguard, my colonizers of dreams. And without them, these ropey endeavors would be way harder to accomplish. They also get access to this cool merch. Oh my god! Kinky, nerdy Venn diagram. You know it's you. I know it, you know it, we all know it. You might as well just show it off to the rest of the world. Thank you for spending your time with me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this madness, and comment down below what kind of rope bondage things you would like us to teach you. As always, I'm Rory. This is our brain. I'm fairly certain it works. Be safe and go create some art.